Hey y'all, welcome to the Transformation Roundtable. I'm Heather Pullman, one of your hosts and one of the admins for the group. We have a great show for you tonight. First of all, though, I want to thank all the other groups that are letting us advertise and show the show in the groups. Thank you so much. We truly, truly appreciate it. We couldn't have the viewership without you guys. And that takes me to another point. If you are watching the show in the Transformation Roundtable group, you get to participate live with our guest and our host. If you're watching in one of the other groups, your comments and all will not be showing up for us. If you want to participate, you want to ask questions of our guest or the host, you need to be in the Transformation Roundtable group. I do watch a group during shows, so please go ahead, join the group. At the top, there is a post that's pinned about granting permission for your comments to be shown. Please make sure you take a look at that. It just says, it has a big Be Live logo on it, and it says Facebook comments issues. So make sure you take a look at that. You click the link. It's a 5-second process, and then any comments that you make on the live show in the Transformation Roundtable can be shown on the show. So let me introduce first our host. So at a total so far weight loss of 267 pounds is Adam Hips. We also have, hi Adam.
Hi Heather, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Fantastic, living the dream.
At 149 pounds down is our own Gary Gardner. Hi Gary.
Hey Gary.
Hello everybody.
All right, bringing up Chase Greene at 123 pounds down. He's going to come on board. And finally, as I drop out of the group so the guys can chat, we will bring on Vance at 206.
Okay.
All right.
Hey.
You dropped out, so now we can talk.
How's it going?
I didn't hear your weight, so I guess you were at 2 what? Okay.
Fantastic. Wow.
Okay.
Great
I just
job.
didn't know if you were able to be heard on that. So I think all total, we're somewhere in the neighborhood of, on the north side of 750.
That's right. Wow. Awesome job, guys.
We're missing a few people in this group, apparently.
Yes, we are. Well, what's going on?
Okay, so Adam, how do you want to lead off? What was the first thing? Yes, there we go.
The first thing is obviously what a tremendous total loss that all of us have, and thank you both for being with us tonight. We really do appreciate it. So we're going to first talk about eating and calorie counting. So Vance, would you want to kind of give us your summary of what you do on a daily basis with that?
Yeah, I mean, on the eating, I kind of follow the stage 3, the phase 3 eating plan on the DDPY nutrition. I've gotten kind of lax of late. I need to get back more serious, but I don't really do the calorie counting. I try to stick with doing the meals and avoiding the combinations of food that the DDPY phase 3 nutrition requires, and I also I try to stick to eating the fruit and the protein at those sizes. I've been ever since the retreat. My stomach is enlarged. I'm going to have to shrink my stomach down again, get back more serious. But normally I follow that routine pretty strictly.
That's a good routine. Chase, how about you, my brother? How do you do those eating and calorie counting?
So for me, I also follow pretty close to the phase 3 eating plan. I do a little more protein, like meat protein, than what the plan recommends. But that's just something my physician told me that he recommended I could probably up a little bit. But I don't really count calories. I looked at counting calories when I first started through an app on my phone, and my typical daily caloric intake at the time before I started was somewhere around 12 to 13,000 calories. And I tracked the calories for probably the first month and a half, and I I hovered around 1,200 calories a day. So once it was pretty steady at that, I just decided not to count the calories anymore. I didn't really see much of a point in it anymore.
Wow, that's unreal. So, Vance, did you ever start counting those early on also, or did you just kind of just freelance it?
No, I kind of just committed to the program. I've never really tracked my calories or anything. A lot of people have asked me
Sure.
estimate what I am. I don't know for sure. I just committed to the program and just went with it.
No, understandable. Gary, you have anything you want to add to that, Gary?
I'll just say we know what you do with yours. You don't track them either, but
No, I
I
create my own
actually
system.
track mine, and for a long time I was at about probably in the neighborhood of 1,600 calories, and then when I hit a plateau, gosh, forever ago, I started changing things, and whatnot, and over time it's actually gone up. I'm with the in-body scans that I'm doing, it's showing what your base metabolic rate is, and which is essentially if you sleep 24/7, that's what you'll burn. And for me, that's almost 2,000 calories just living. And
Wow.
anything I do beyond that, I can call exercise or whatever beyond that. And currently, I eat about 2,500 calories, and I'm still losing.
Fantastic. That's great.
Hey, I want to ask you about that body scan. I bought a scale today that supposedly does the body scan. Is it a scale that you do?
This one is it's a large piece of equipment that is at the nutrition shop that's near me. If you wanted to buy one, I think they're over $3,000. The ones that you can purchase for yourself, there's some that aren't that expensive, but they'll cover muscle mass, fat, and some will do water weight and whatnot. The in-body scan gets pretty detailed because it'll actually show you where your muscle is, at, and where your fat is at. And on my last one, I can pull it up here, but I lost like a pound of fat out of each arm, but I also gained a half pound of muscle in each arm this last time. I lost weight off my torso, but I lost fat off my torso, but gained 2 pounds of muscle. So over the past month and a half, on paper, I've only lost about 7 pounds, but I've lost over 10 pounds of fat and gained over 3.5 pounds of muscle.
That's fantastic. So, do Chase or Vance, would you looking into doing an in-body scan like kind of what Gary does on like a weekly or monthly basis at all?
I haven't. I mean, I've been noticing since Gary said that, and a couple of people have mentioned it in the comments of my post, that I should look into that. And I just bought one today. The health food store had one for $54.95, Ann's health food store. And I thought I'd try it today. I hadn't even opened it yet, so I don't know if it's good or not good. I don't know what to expect, and so but I haven't gone to the extreme that Gary has, or gone to a nicer facility or anything.
Yeah, and when I go down there, they give me a printout that I can go over everything on it and whatnot.
What about you, Chase? Would you in the future maybe do that at some point, or do you know anything about those types of in-body scans at all?
I'd have to look into it a little bit. I've honestly never even really looked into it or heard about it, so I'd have to kind of research a little bit.
Understandable. Just thought I would ask. Anything else you want to add to that, Gary, before we move on?
The thing I like about it is it lets you know, like this time it showed me, picking up muscle. When I first started doing it, from the first time to the second time, I lost 4 pounds and went, woohoo, lost 4 pounds. And then when I looked at the deal, I'd lost 2 pounds of fat and 2 pounds of muscle. And it's like, whoa, no, that's not the direction I want to go. And so I made some changes in things, not as much bike riding as I had been doing. And apparently I'm not going to be doing for a little bit here. Yeah, we're not going to go there.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I see, Steve. But, a little less bike riding and more, I still do, DDPY. For me, a lot of it's about flexibility, but I still go to the gym and I lift and whatnot. And so far I haven't found what the magic bullet is to be able to put weight on put muscle on my legs, because I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Part of that's it.
We have a good subject here, Gary, and DDPY and exercise. So Vance and Chase, can Can you kind of give us a summary of what you both do with the DDPY and exercise, and even outside of DDPY, what you do for exercise?
Yeah, I mean, when I started out walking and doing aqua aerobics because it was easy on the joints. And then I picked up DDPY. DDP reached out to me, and I've tried some other things, but I've kind of narrowed it down to basically DDPY, walking, swimming, and biking because I really enjoy the biking and the swimming, and I enjoy the swimming the most. And walking's kind of hard on my knees, but I do like. I really want to be able to compete to do triathlons, and so I consider DDPY to have been giving me an opportunity, a chance to get back and to do things such as possibly finish triathlons.
That's
On the
fantastic.
triathlons, what are the different distances you have to go?
Well, they do a super sprint. I haven't done. That's the very shortest. It's really a baby, but the typical baby triathlon is a sprint, and it's a 2 to 500 yard swim. It's a 10 to 15 mile bike ride, and then a 5K. And people do it between an hour and 2 hours, something like that. And then after the sprint, you get into the Olympic distance, and the Olympic distance is it's about a 1 mile swim, 1,500 meters, 1,600 meters, 1 mile swim. It's a 25, 26 mile bike ride, and then a 10K, like a 6.2 mile run, something like that. And then after the Olympic, then when you see those numbers, 70.3 and 140.6, those are the distances. Those are like Ironman and half Ironman. So after Olympic, you get in, those are the miles added together. So after Olympic, you get into X50 distance, which is they equal 50 miles. So let's see, it's about it's about a 43 mile bike ride, a 6 mile run, and a 1 mile swim, but they add up to 50. But it's smaller than a half Ironman, that's the 70.3. That's the 56 mile bike ride, the 13 mile run, and then the 1.2 mile swim. And then you get up to, and those equal 70.3. And if I did my math right, and then the 140.6 is, it's a full marathon run, 26 miles. It's a 112 mile bike ride, and then a 2.4 mile swim, a 4,000 meter swim.
Wow.
So there's all distances, whatever distances you want to do.
How about you, Chase?
So currently I do the DDPY. I mean, I shoot to do it every day, but I'm not great. I don't get it in every single day. I'm also doing walking. Vance was the one that got me into the walking. I went and did walking with his group a couple times, and I mean, even when I was down 80 pounds, I'd go walk with his group, and I'd be out of breath. It looked like they were all just breezing through. So I told myself I got to start walking more. And recently, a few weeks ago, I started walking in the morning, and I was shooting for about 5 miles in the morning, which takes me about an hour and a half or more. But that's pretty much what the exercise is I'm doing right now, is the DDPY workouts and the walks. I might start biking pretty soon. I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's something else I want to add to it.
That's fantastic, guys. That really is. That's unreal how you both have progressed.
I'm gonna make him do a triathlon with me. I'm trying to make him do one with me at the end of July.
There you go.
Yeah, Jason Weeks is coming down from Georgia.
Wow.
He's going to do his first triathlon here in Dallas at it's called the Pioneer Triathlon. He's doing a sprint, and he's driving in from Georgia, and he and I are going to do it.
When's that going to be, Vance? Do you know the date on that?
It's I can look at that. It's like July 21st, I think.
Oh,
It's
okay.
on Sunday. It's like a Sunday.
Oh, that's
Oh,
neat.
yeah.
Wow.
So and then I think Chase is going to do the 5K, but I'm trying to make him do the try.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm down for the 5K. I don't know about the biking and the swimming.
Okay. What about goals then and now? Chase, what about your goals from when you started then and now to your goals now? How they've kind of transformed, if you will.
I mean, most of my goals when I first started were just kind of they were just centered around like my weight and like my immediate health issues. So it was, I want to get to 195, but it's a long way down the road for me. So a lot of weight loss for that, and to reverse the type 2 diabetes and get rid of the high blood pressure. So I've actually taken care of those two, and it's weird, kind of as I've gone through, which I'm sure this has happened to all of you, but the goals kind of change, and I feel like a lot of the goals that I have now are more fitness, related goals. So my hope is by next summer I'm going to be sitting in a lake and kayaking for the first time. I've always seen guys that kayak, and it looks like it's just like a ton of fun, and just stuff like that. A lot of fitness goals and a lot of just activity goals are kind of where I see myself now, because
What kind
the
of
weight
things
loss
are you
and stuff
able to
comes.
do now that you hadn't?
So, I mean, the biggest one that I get to notice on like a daily basis is just like getting down on the floor with my kids. Like before, I never did any kind of activity with my kids. I just kind of sat on the couch and just watched. So it's exciting to be able to really just to get down and be on the floor and kind of run around with them. I mean, even this week we were in the backyard and I was running back and forth across the yard with them, running through sprinklers and stuff. And I could never do stuff like that before. So doing stuff like that, and then also just being willing to go out and just go places where we might go to a festival or something like that somewhere and walk all day long. I would never say yes to stuff like that in the past.
Wow, that's great that you're able to do a lot of those things now. So Vance, with you, what things are you able to be able to do now from goals and just be able to do in general from then to now?
Well, I mean, I want to brag on Chase. I think he did a 5-mile walk in Central Park here a week or two ago, wasn't it?
I walked about 8 miles that evening. Some of it was in Central Park. Yeah.
Wow,
Isn't that crazy?
that's phenomenal, Chase.
Yeah,
I'm
that
really
was
proud of you.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But I
It's
mean, for
exciting.
me, it's when I started, I couldn't walk to the mailbox without getting out of breath and getting tired. And
I hear that. I couldn't go to the mailbox without being tired and being in a great amount of pain.
yeah, and tying my shoes, putting my shoes on. I mean, it's this whole thing's just completely changed my life. It's and the more I do, the more I want to do. I keep pushing myself, and like Chase said, you get to where you just physical limitations just aren't a consideration anymore, because used to, if somebody wanted to go do something, I had to figure out how far a walk it was from the parking lot to the place, and was I going to be able to find a place to sit down, and where the restroom was, and am I going to be able to carry my thing in for the restroom, and I mean whether I could fit in the seats, whether the seats would hold me. I skipped a lot of events just because I couldn't fit in the seats,
I
and
think we've all done that.
yeah, and as I've lost the weight and gotten in better shape, I don't even consider you know whether or not the physical requirements of doing the event is not even a consideration anymore.
Yeah.
The physical requirements don't, disabilities don't even get a vote. If I want to do it, I can go do it now, and I can,
I know where Adam wants to go with this, but I got a quick question for you. What's in the bucket list of things that you want to do that you've never been able to do, and they're goals now?
Well, I mean, I want to run an Ironman eventually if my knees will let me. That's what I want to do, and I want to wrestle in a Naga. I want to roll in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament.
Cool. How about you, Chase?
One of my, I don't know, one of my crazier goals was to be able to run a marathon. I don't know if I still want to run a marathon. I used to really want to. I think now the biggest goals that I have that I really still can't do are really just to be able to. I want to be able to bike. I want to be able to do the kayaking, and I would like to be able to learn how to rock climb. It's something I've always think is just you have to have like an incredible amount of strength and control to be able to do that. And I've watched a bunch of documentaries on it. So those are some of the bigger, I think, like just fitness goals and stuff like that that I have that I want to be able to do.
What was the last one? I didn't understand the last one.
Rock climbing.
Rock climbing. Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with
That's
that,
body strength.
so
Yeah.
with those,
That's a skinny man's game there.
yeah. So now, my next question is, how about the non-scale victories that you both set for yourselves, with all the work that you put in and with all the effort, not giving up, saying I can't yet, continuously improving yourselves. What do you do for non-scale victories? Chase, what do you do?
I just try to pay attention to all the stuff going on around me. Like there's what I've noticed is usually there's a lot more non-scale victory going on than what you even pick up on. I made a list on my phone.
Oh, did we
when
lose
I first
Chase?
started. And,
Maybe you lost me.
Can you guys still hear me?
I see both. You're both.
I can
still...
hear you. See you're pixelating a little bit.
Well,
yeah.
I can't see Chase at all.
I made a list. On the list, I basically went through and put all the things that I wanted to be able to do. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was simple stuff. Even just be able to, put my foot on my knee or something like that. Not even fully cross my legs, stuff like that. And as I've continued to lose weight, I've noticed that some of those non-scale victories, have shown up. Like, a couple weeks back, I was at the beach and was able to actually, lift a foot up and just sit it on my knee while I was sitting.
I can't hear anybody talking if somebody's talking.
Chase is talking, Vance. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Chase.
But yeah, that was a big deal, and being able to fit in my car again was a really, really huge one. It's something I put out there a little while back because I literally couldn't fit in my car, and I'm never stressed out about getting in my car anymore. And when I was in New York recently, I had to get in a few different Ubers, and I was like, before I would always be terrified, like, hey, we got to make sure we get an SUV or something. I got to make sure there's plenty of room. And I got in the back of two like pretty small 4-door cars, and it's just such a relief to not have to be as stressed. I'm still a big guy. I mean, I'm still really close to 400 pounds. So to be able to experience the non-scale victories I've experienced this far, it's really exciting to think of where it'll be by next year.
I'm really proud of you, Chase, for those. Now, Vance, what's your non-scale victories that you set for yourself?
I mean, you talking about what I've already accomplished or what I have yet to accomplish?
No, non-scale victories, like say you accomplish your weight for the week. What do you do to reward yourself? Does that make sense?
I don't really, I don't really have rewards. Used to all my rewards were based around food. A celebration, we'd go out to eat or go out to, everything was based around food. And so now, when I reach a non-scale victory, I haven't really rewarded myself. I don't know how to answer that. I just keep going.
Understandable.
I have my own version of that, and that, I get to do stuff now.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. So, like Vance, for example, like Chase was talking about the things that he was able to do. That's kind of like a non-scale victory, also. What do you think about, like, say you're falling, you're able to walk to the mailbox? That's a non-scale victory, for example. Or you're able to walk all those miles that you would do and bike, and you swim and all those things. That's really remarkable from all your work that you're putting in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've had a ton of non-scale victories. If that's what you're asking,
yes, absolutely.
Just from being able to tie my shoes. I've got devices around here that I don't need anymore. Like I said, the bottom buddy to help me in the restroom, so I could reach my rear end. the shoe horn that's on a extension to help me get my shoes on. You know, there's holes in the wall where I was trying to get off the toilet when I was at my heaviest, and my legs would go to sleep in the master bathroom. And you know, I mean, getting in and out of a car, breaking chairs. I mean, all of those things are things that were common in my life before this. You know,
We've all done that.
yeah. Now I can cross my legs. Now I can. You know, I can tie my shoes. I can clip my own toenails. I can, you know, every day it's like a new non-scale victory. You know, just bending over and picking up stuff off the ground is a huge non-scale victory.
Absolutely.
You're talking about clipping
You
toenails,
know,
Vance. I didn't
being
think
able to
about
fit in the airplane seat, not having extensions. You know, I mean, it's the life I live today is, well, I'll give you an example of a big non-scale victory that happened at retreat.
Mm-hmm.
They had one of those jet tubs in the rooms that we stayed in. I've never been able to use one of them in a hotel because I couldn't fit in them. And so I was able to get into the jet tub and take a bath. And I took 2 baths in the jet tub while I was at the retreat for 3 days, just because I could, and I never had been able to do it before.
Awesome.
You know, it's just little things like that that you you know, that you think about during the day, or something happens that you know, that brings back those memories.
You mentioned the retreat. Kind of was that one of your first retreats you went to, or if you've been before, kind of give the people a little bit of a rundown of what that entails.
Yeah, that was my first retreat, and I encourage anyone, if they have an opportunity or a chance, to go to it. It's a beautiful experience. You know, you're surrounded by like-minded people, and most of the people there have been to 6, 7, 8 retreats. You know, the people once they go, people want to go back, and you know, it's just a first-class resort. DDP and Brenda make sure that the food is DDP nutrition compliant. You know, you get a chance to work out with DDP every day. In the afternoons, everybody hangs out at the pool, and those that drink do so, and do so quite frequently. And so, I mean, it's just a great time, just to be around like-minded people, to be around people with the same goals as you, to be around people with the same struggles, and not, you know, people who understand your concerns and your food issues and your exercise issues and your injuries and your problems, and it's just a great to be around those, and everybody's positive. I mean, everybody is just supportive and positive, just like the DDP Yoga Facebook group. I mean, it's those people that are in there, and you meet these people, and it's just a beautiful experience. And you know, it's an almost life-changing, life-altering.
That's really cool. Thanks for the insight, Vance. That's really neat.
Yeah.
Chase, have you went to one before, and would you think about doing that in the future?
I've never been to one. No. I mean, I really only got into the program, about 6 months ago. So I definitely want to go to a retreat. I think it looks like an incredible experience. So my hope is to be able to go to the retreat next year. So it looks
That'd
very
be great.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's another question. So say we're transitioning to, like, say we fall off the wagon or we have an off day. So how do we so it's like you're getting knocked down and you're picking yourself back up. What do you do in those instances? Chase, what do you do?
Honestly, my answer would probably be what Vance would say, because he's the one that kind of gave me the idea. But just like he says about his dog, just kick some grass on it. The way I look at it now, every day for me, I'm choosing to pursue success. So whether I had a good day yesterday or I had a bad day, and a bad day, say you get knocked down, every day to me is a reset on pursuing success. So when I get up in the morning, regardless of what yesterday was, I'm going after the same thing this morning. So I just I try to look at a moment of, maybe poor judgment, whatever, something that kind of knocks you down in spirit or whatever, as look at that in light of all the days or all the good decisions that you made. And to me, it puts it in perspective. And I just don't stress about it very much anymore, because we're gonna have some low moments and stuff like that, but it's nowhere near as many awesome like highs that we get from doing this.
That's a great point. Vance, how about yourself?
Yeah, I can't hear Chase's response. I wish I could.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. We apologize for that. But he was basically, I'll paraphrase, was saying that if you get knocked down or if you have a moment of whatever it is, you take it for, okay, that's just one moment, and you think of all the greater things that you've accomplished instead of just that one negative, and you pick yourself back up or kick some grass on, as he said that you may say, for example, and just get up and keep improving, keep working.
I mean, that's absolutely 100% correct. The place we put ourselves in, we didn't do it overnight, and we did it by making choices, one choice at a time, over and over, until we got to the position in our life that we were, where we were at. And we're not going to change overnight, and we're still going to have the same urges, the same addictions, the same stressors, the same family issues and temptations and food. We're gonna slip. I mean, we're only human, and we're not robots. Some of us can't do what Adam does. But but we slip, and you just got to remember that that this ain't a race that has an end. That you just got to that we know what our bodies are going to look like if we don't follow the right, make more good choices than bad. So we just have to, the rest of our lives, try to make more good choices than bad. Try to do the best we can every day, and not be too hard on ourselves if we slip. If we slip, then just like Chase said, I call it, do what my dog Fifi does, kick some grass on that shit and walk away. But you just get up and dust yourself off and get back to work. You just we got the rest of our lives to lose this weight. We got the rest of our lives to get our body into shape. We got the rest of our lives to stay on track. And 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, a week ain't gonna change the fact that we got the rest of our lives to be able to do this. And we just got to stay positive and keep working and keep plowing.
That's a great point, Vance, and you both said something really interesting. And Gary, if you want to chime in with this, this transformation that and those things that you just mentioned, it takes a lifetime way to do it. It's not going to be a one-day thing. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifelong journey, if you will. Would you agree with that, Gary?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a complete lifestyle change from what I've been doing in the past. I think anybody that's been successful, it's been a life-changing event that you change your entire lifestyle. It's not, I'll do this until I lose a certain amount of weight, because if you don't stay with what got you there, you're going to end up back where you were. And I think I speak for everybody. That's unacceptable.
I agree wholeheartedly. So now, with that being said, what about like the self-confidence and being comfortable in your own skin? Obviously, we all of us have gone through that. Vance, Chase, yourselves. So with starting out where you are and now where you are now, how do you feel your self-confidence level and being comfortable with what you're doing and how you're looking and with your transformation?
Which one are you going to first?
If you'd like to start, Vance, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I'm never comfortable in myself, so I'm always insecure and not very confident. But one thing this journey has taught me is that our change happens is when we step out of our comfort zone and we allow ourselves to be more vulnerable. And we put ourselves in situations where we don't know the outcome. I don't know if any of y'all have watched that video by Brene Brown on YouTube about vulnerability. It's gotten over 10 million views, but she talks about she's advising the people of the Fortune 500 companies and big businesses that they need to be more vulnerable. They need to put themselves in the pit, and they're gonna lose. They're not gonna win every time. They're gonna lose, but it's that vulnerability that puts you in the game and allows you the chance to change and to evolve and to become successful. And so, I try to put myself in situations that are uncomfortable, and I try to put myself out there physically and, openly, and just try to be as honest as I can about everything. And I post it all on social media, and that, doing that's led me to all of this where I've gotten today. But, putting myself out there on my underwear at 475 pounds, my wife thought I'd get fired. I just said, what else do I have to lose? I'm going to die soon. I've got to do something different. And so you just got to get over those insecurities and those phobias that we all have, and you just got to put yourself out there and just go for it. You got to live life and just enter the arena, as as old Teddy Roosevelt would say. Get in that arena and risk losing and risk being humiliated or whatever, but just go for it. And you're gonna lose, you're gonna win, but get in the arena and fight.
Well, that's a great point, and that's a really good answer. Chase, what about yourself?
So Vance brings up a really good point talking about vulnerability. My wife actually preached on shame and vulnerability yesterday, and she talked about vulnerability is basically putting yourself in a situation where you don't know what the outcome is going to be. And for years, I've been so nervous, and what I like to say is I don't really care what people think, because it would disappoint me if they thought something negative about me. But the truth was, I did care what people thought, and it would always keep me where I kind of hid behind shame of how I looked, and I just didn't want people to see me, and I wanted to hide a lot. So when I first started this, I put those pictures out of me with no shirt on, and that was a pretty big deal for me. But I felt kind of safe doing that in the DDP yoga group, because I felt like I'm around like-minded people. But when I decided to put it out there and let all of my friends that actually see me on a daily basis see it, that kind of changed things for me. And since then, I decided, anytime I get nervous or a little self-conscious about being somewhere with my shirt off or something, I think, I already put that out there. Everybody I know has already seen it, and a bunch of people I don't really know. So this summer I've had a chance to go swimming at 4 or 5 different events, and I decided I'm gonna go with my shirt off. I said, I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to do that. I've never liked being the guy in a t-shirt, in a swimming pool, and I'm learning that I get a huge boost of confidence when I allow myself to say, hey, maybe you're not where you want to be, but you gotta love where you're at now compared to where you were 6 months ago. And the truth is, I do. And I just decided I'm not gonna be ashamed of that anymore. And if anybody else is, that's their issue. I'm gonna go ahead and be happy of where I'm at right now, because it wasn't easy, and I feel like I've earned it.
When you went to the pool and you went ahead and take your shirt off and you went, how many people said anything?
That's right. Not a single person said anything.
Yeah, people are busy living their own lives. They've got their own problems. They don't care about anyone else, really. But it's hard to realize that.
It matters a lot to your confidence level, because, man, I was swimming around kids at a water park this Friday, and there's nobody more honest than kids. And I have over the years gotten a lot of comments from kids just about, you've got a big belly, and I kept waiting for it. But I think the thing is just now I try to just own it differently. I'm just like, hey, it's who I am. I'm not ashamed of it, so I don't wear it on my face. And truthfully, it's just, even around all those kids, I didn't get any negative responses. It was a very liberating feeling. It was an awesome time.
That's fantastic. That with all the work that you're doing, you can build that and never quit the fact of, hey, I want to keep improving myself, no matter what other people think. You know what? We all have our own insecurities, but like you said, why not be happy or be neutral to where we are? We're better off than what we were then.
Yeah.
Right. So now, with that being said, so what about with both of you doing so much great work, and Gary, he's involved also, all the great work that you're all doing? How does it feel to be possibly role models for so many people, and given like, hey, you could be a knight in shining armor for, hey, I can do this. They can do it. I can do it.
Yeah, how do you like being a legend?
Yeah, that's a great question for both of you. Legends. Yeah. Chase, you want to start off?
I mean, I definitely wouldn't call myself a legend, but it's different. It wasn't something I expected. When I just got into it, I was just trying to use it for accountability, and it worked really well for that. And I've had to, again, I never expected that someone seeing me struggle would be encouraging. And I had a really close friend of mine tell me, he's like, "You don't understand, man." He said, you're so far at a different place as far as being in shape than I am. When I see you struggle, he goes, "Dude, that's just accountability just washing over me." He goes, "It gives me no excuse not to get down and do the hard work." He said, "But I see you struggling through a lot more than I go through to do it." And then that's when I think I just looked at it a little bit differently, and I finally decided, hey, like if it's possible that anybody can get anything positive out of what I'm doing, then, well, shoot, I should just share more of it. And so that's why I try to show people the things that I do that I'm proud of, but also the stuff that I do where I struggle a lot, because I feel like especially like in DVP yoga, when you first get started, you spend a lot of time in struggling, so I just want people to see it's okay. Like I struggle most of the time, and every now and then I pull off something I feel really proud of, but that's the normalcy of it. So.
Well, how about you, Vance? How do you feel about being a role model or someone that they can look up to and say, hey, I can do this. He's doing great things. Or Chase or Gary doing great things, and hey, I can model them and try to make an impact with my life.
I think I've got two or three parts to that to the response.
Sure.
First of all, you said a legend. I don't think I am a legend. I when you go to the retreat, or you go to the DDPY summit, you meet so many inspiring stories. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Everybody you meet has a story that's as good or better than my story. And to say that mine just happened to go viral, but there's a lot that you go to these places. It's humbling how many people that DDPY has actually helped and transformed, and how inspiring their stories are. It's just unbelievable. I think I'm just one of the lucky ones, and but that it just for some reason went viral. But secondly, I think that I really like helping other people and being an inspiration. Being a lawyer my whole for 26 years, I've always dealt with people at the worst in their lives. Nobody calls a lawyer when they're happy, and I truly enjoy helping people instead of to better themselves, instead of being involved during people when they're in the worst of their life for some reason. So that being able to help people has it's been tremendous to me because I can't tell you how much I've it's really, I've enjoyed it, and it's really helped me. And lastly, I think it also inspires me because now I'm held more accountable because I know other people are watching me, and it makes a feeling for me that I got to get up and go work out, because if I don't, somebody's watching me. I mean, I can't let let someone down who I'm inspiring. I've got to get out there and put in the work just like everybody else, and so it's an accountability and inspiring to me, and so it's just an awesome feeling and an awesome result from this whole process.
Gary, you want to add to that? I heard you say something. I couldn't hear
Yeah, absolutely. It's just another part of the accountability. Keeping having put yourself out there. It helps you keep yourself accountable to what you're doing. But I've found the more involved you are with this stuff and helping other people, that keeps me motivated. But but it's still, you have to be self-driven for it to be successful. You've got to find something that's going to, why do you get out of bed in the morning and do this? It has to be for more reasons than I'm going to get a handful of likes today. It's an entirely different deal, but absolutely.
That's really great. All of you said some really great things, and I think it's really imperative that the piggyback off of you for a moment is whatever our actions are create more change than anything. And when someone can see like you, Vance, or you, Chase, or Gary, do what you all three do, it motivates people. You're helping people whether you're saying it or not. Look what you're doing, viral or not. You're making an impact. I think that's very admirable for all of you to say that I gained stuff out of all three of you more than anybody else. We're all equal here. We're all a team. We're a DDPY family, right? We're all a community of, hey, we want to help others. And I agree with you, Vance and Chase. It's all about helping others. It's all about giving everyone that moment of, hey, yes, you can. There is no thing that you cannot do. You can do this. There is no wrong way. Let's build and make each other better. And I couldn't have said it better than both of you. I thought you both did great answers. We're going to have some Q&A coming up here, but just real quick, what keeps you motivated on a daily basis besides like the accountability, but just for you personally, what gives you that motivation to go, I want to keep, like you, Vance, I want to do that Ironman, or Chase, I want to do this. What keeps you motivated to start off the Q&A, if you don't mind? Go ahead, Vance.
I didn't know who you wanted to go first.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
One thing recently that's kept me motivated that I've let myself down on, I was working on a consecutive streak because, meeting you and meeting Jennifer Joliker and meeting Jesse Amaral.
Mm-hmm.
And plus you find out there's so many other streaks out there, people doing it every day consecutively. I had about a little over 90 days consecutively in that I let slip over this past week. And so I started over at 1 last night. But I can tell you that consecutive streak got me on the mat many days that I wouldn't have gotten on had I not had that consecutive streak going. So just the fact that I had that consecutive streak going really motivated me to get on that mat every single day. And I'm hoping to, and I'm gonna do it again. But general motivation, I really want to. I want to get under 200. I want to be skinny. I've never been skinny, and that's kind of the driving force behind me. And DDPY has given me the ability to and the means to accomplish not only this goal, but also to start setting other goals like doing triathlons and, swimming long distances and, just doing anything for my daily life. And so it's, I can't lose where what I've gained, and I want to keep going. I know that if I stop doing it, I'm going to lose it quick. At my age, this newfound health goes away quickly if I stop or
Yeah,
skip
it's like
early on.
climbing an escalator, isn't it? If
Yeah,
you
I mean,
stop, you're going backwards.
just immediately at my age, and so it's something I've got to keep going, keep doing, keep putting in the work, keep at it. And if I and when I do, I find out I can do more, and I keep pushing myself more. So it's kind of a self-perpetuating engine now. So I love it, man. I never thought I would look forward to working out.
That's
Me,
wow.
I look forward to eating and drinking and sitting in my chair watching movies, and I never look forward to working out and missing working out till now.
That's
Tell you what,
awesome,
Vince,
man.
if you get out to Southern California, you and I are going to have to go body surfing.
Hey, I'm in.
All right, Chase, what about yourself, my brother? What keeps you motivated?
I think really just trying to keep my my goals and stuff out in front of me to focus on, that motivates me a lot. But I think the biggest thing right now that on a daily basis motivates me is just like this newfound like level of like comfort and like confidence. Like I say comfort because I feel more comfortable finally, like just in like most situations, because everybody that I come into contact with doesn't really know where I've come over the last 6 months or whatever. But I bring that mindset with me regardless. I just feel more comfortable in situations, and that's given me a huge boost of confidence. And kind of like what Vance said, you stop doing this, even things like that start to fall back pretty quick. So I don't want to give up how comfortable I feel with my body right now, and just my mental health and everything. I don't want to give it away. So it motivates me a lot to just keep pushing because I know it can get better.
Here's a good question for both of you and Gary yourself. How do you guys able to have that balance of self-care, family, and work? That balance that you have to have with your self-care, your
I
work.
can go first on this because I'll be really fast.
Okay, go ahead.
My kids are all grown up out of the house. I'm divorced. I live with my younger brother, and I can do what I want. I get to be really selfish at this point in my life. So I can go spend an hour and a half, 2 hours at the gym every day if I want. So, that's when to do it, how to do that part's really easy for me. This is my job. It's what I do.
Okay, Chase, you want to go off on that also?
So yeah, it's actually been really challenging for me because I'm married and I've got 3 kids, and it's just tough. I don't want to sacrifice time with my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to prioritize my healthier lifestyle and my pursuit and my efforts while still not neglecting them. So I've had to make a lot of adjustments over the last 6 months. I started doing my workouts at one time a day, and I moved it to another time. And now to start getting in this extra walking I want to do, I mean, I have to get up at 5 a.m. to get that done so I can be back in time before they all get up. And that way they don't feel like I'm putting it above them. But it takes a lot of intentionality. I mean, it's something I have to have weekly conversations with my wife just to make sure that we both are on the same page as far as what's most important in our marriage and what things I'm working at. But it's a tough thing to balance sometimes.
How about you, Vance?
I mean, I think that's probably one of the hardest things to do. I really do. Time is what is our most precious commodity. It's what we got the least of, and trying to decide what activity gets our time is difficult to balance out. And for Mary and I, we're empty nesters, and we're similar to Gary's situation where we don't have any kids at home. So it's a little easier for us, but it's still very difficult between work and exercise and the other responsibilities of life, and taking care of yourself and everything, and finances, and I don't know if there's any easy answer. I just know that right now I'm putting my health and my physical health ahead of a lot of other things. You know, a lot of other hobbies and other things in my life aren't as important to me anymore. You know, like I used to hunt and fish a lot, and you know, none of those things are important to me anymore. I just
Well, if I come visit, we're going to have to go out to your forge.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got a four. I used to make knives, you know, and all of that's it's been kicked to the back burner because first thing I do is work out or family or work. You know, I've kicked a lot of things back to the back burner than to focus on this, and I've kind of just made that the forefront of my of my spare time right now.
Well, how much time gets taken by all of the different things for social media, not just like what we're doing right now, but also you guys make videos and you have to edit them and all the different prep that it takes for doing that.
It's a significant. I mean, I'm always on my phone posting stuff, but it's another form of accountability for me, you know, and it's another, you know, and it's once you start putting everything out there live and on social media, then people come out of the woodwork to help you and to support you and walk with you and volunteer, and it's just amazing. It's almost like hey, you put a little bit out there, it comes back to you tenfold type of situation. You start putting it out there, and even though people aren't responding to your the posts, when I go out in public, people have talked to me like they know my life and their friend. They follow me even though they don't ever say anything, and they check on my progress. They make sure I hadn't gained any weight, and they want to know what exercises I'm doing and what I can do to help them, and they want to know when we can go walking together, and I try to commit them to a date. And so the social media side of it is it's as much a part of the accountability and the helping others as it is anything else with this journey.
In creating this show, I have family that isn't involved with DDPY, but I invited everybody I know to the roundtable, and I have my brothers, my sister, you name it, everybody is watching these things. So yeah, how about you, Chase? How has the social media aspect of it affected you?
So I definitely spend a good deal of time on social media now. I was never on social media before. I mean, I would probably post something on Facebook or Instagram like once every month or month and a half, and I got such a positive response when I started posting. I actually decided, well, maybe I'll share some more. Vance was the one that really encouraged me. He said, just put as much out there as you can, and kind of like what he said, when you put it out there, you get a lot back from it, and it's tough because maybe, especially like at the end of the day when you're really tired or you're wore out. I also kind of feel a responsibility. People take time out of their day to encourage me and stuff like that by sharing comments and things like that. And I just I want to take time to thank people for it. So it definitely takes a decent amount of time, but it's time I enjoy spending because it brings a lot of positivity back into my life. So.
Well, that's awesome. And since we're getting close to the time up here, I want to ask you all, if you don't mind, what your next goal is, and if you have any final thoughts for all of our viewers. And I want to say for myself, I appreciate you both giving us your time like you have. I'm proud to call you both friends of mine, obviously Gary, and I appreciate what you, Chase, and Vance do on a daily basis. I admire that. You have my complete respect. I've done this for over 15 years, and I'm really proud of both of you for what you do. So if you have any next goals and closing comments, the floor is yours. If you want to start, Chase, go ahead.
My most immediate goal right now is I want to get down to 350. 350 is I was around 350 when I moved to Texas about 8 years ago. So 350 is my next goal, and before this year is over, I wanted to hit 300. So those are the big weight goals I have for the rest of this year, and I feel pretty confident that that I'll be able to close in on those. And I don't know, man. As far as like closing comments, it's been really exciting. It's very cool being on here with you guys because I'm inspired by all of you, especially Vance. I mean, Vance is the one that got me into all this, and I call him a really good friend of mine now. So it's very exciting. It's a very awesome community, and I feel really blessed to be a part of it.
Vance, how about you, my brother?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things scheduled. Like I said earlier, Jason Weeks is coming down, I think July 21st, to do the Pioneer Sprint Triathlon with me. And then I think the next weekend is an open water swim challenge. I think it's July 27th or 28th or something like that. And I'm trying to do the 4,000 meters open water swim, and which is about almost 2.5 miles in the open water, 2.48 or something. And so I'm pretty pumped about that. I haven't gone. I've gone half that distance in open water. So, and then in August I am scheduled to. I've registered for the Hotter Than Hell 100, which is a bike ride in Wichita Falls, Texas, in 100-degree heat. It's that I think it's like 104 miles or something. It's a little over 100 miles, and
Wow.
and then in 100-degree temperature. And so I'm hoping to make it. So far, the farthest bike ride I've done is 56 miles, and I'm hoping to knock out the 100-mile, my first 100-miler in August. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, I'm really proud of both of you for sure. Gary, you have any final questions or goals, and we'll let Heather come up and.
Yeah, I mean, I've hit so many huge goals from, the amount of weight loss to, getting up and going, out of the wheelchair and going for a walk. I mean, the enormous ones are already done. I've already accomplished that. I still want to do more because I want to be able to swim more and be able to, be able to walk further than I can now.
Okay. I just want to say.
We're losing me.
I just want to say thanks to Gary, you, Vance, Chase. Thank you all for your time. Heather, our main control, is going to pop up and announce some things. But I appreciate you, Vance and Chase, for coming on. Gary, we appreciate all of you being a part of this, and I respect each and every one of you very much. So thank you very much for what you do.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me on.
I'm honored. So Heather,
Absolutely.
whenever she's ready, she'll pop up. Here she is.
I gotta say, Chase, Vance, you guys are so inspirational. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna definitely have to have a part 2. You guys are wonderful. I am so proud to call you guys friends. I can't tell you, you guys both every day are the reason that I get up and go to the gym along with these 2 crazy guys that I'm working with. So thanks, guys. You've been awesome. We can't wait to have you guys back on. So yeah, we had a couple problems with comments. So let me explain. BeLive just upgraded a whole bunch of stuff on us, and so we're working really hard to work through some of the technical issues. So I'm actually going to do a couple of pop-ups this week during daytime, in evening, and probably one over the weekend, so that everyone gets a chance to fix that comments issue, so that we can get those comments working a little bit better. We also need to announce next week's show, and I'm super excited about next week's show because we're all going to finally get to ask questions that have been burning inside of us, of one of the most quiet, secretive people I am proud and pleased to know. Our next show is the Adam Hips story. Something that no one has really heard yet. So we're super, super excited to have our own Adam Hips as a guest instead of a host. So maybe we'll have to have a guest host to ask you questions.
I'm just honored to be a part of this with Gary and yourself, and to be a guest. I'll be honored to do that. And no one's ever heard my story. Only my Uncle Reese knows the entire thing. And that's a very select group, obviously. So I'll be happy to answer questions and kind of give a little insights on what my story is, or journey rather.
Yeah, we definitely can't wait. So keep an eye on those for those pop-ups. I'll try and announce them ahead of time and try not to do them when they're really annoying for people. But we want to try and get some of these technical things done. Keep posting, to our comments in the group, participating. Please share the group around, get your friends to join, get your family to join. Don't get your frenemies to join. We don't really want those. Participate in the other groups. We want to give a shout out to the DDP Yoga group, the DDP Yoga support group, the DDP Yoga members only group, the DDPY Down Under group. Who am I missing? That's 4. I'm missing one. Gary?
The one that's Restore, and I'm drawing blank.
Yeah, see, this is what happens when you turn old, folks.
When you get old. I remembered one word of it. You forgot the whole thing.
Oh,
well,
I'm staying out of that one.
Well, we want to thank all the groups. We appreciate the admins for letting us share our post in the groups and advertise. And we want to thank all of our viewers. So join us next week. It'll be July 8th, 7 p.m. Eastern, so that you can all finally hear Adam's story and his journey. Adam, any final? You guys did great tonight. Any final thoughts or comments, Adam?
Yes, I just appreciate, again, Heather, all the things you do, and Gary. I'm honored to call you both very close, dear friends of mine. To be a part of this group is an honor for me, and I just appreciate everything that everyone does in this entire group, the community, and I'm honored to be a very small piece of the puzzle of it. And happy 4th of July to everyone out there. And please be safe, please be kind, and always stay vigilant, as I would say, and keep rocking and rolling. And I appreciate it, and I'll look forward to next week.
Gary, any final thoughts?
Yeah, and I just want to go back a little bit because my phone's kind of acting weird now, so I'll have to get off here soon because the battery's about dead. But one of the goals that I had, is one of the things that motivates me is this show. This keeps me going. This is so much fun. I get to talk to a lot of great people, work with you guys. This keeps me jacked up. And other than that, I'm looking forward to next week. And until then, I've got work to do.
So I want to say one last thing because Adam brought it up. It is 4th of July coming up on Thursday. For those of you not in the country, sorry. For those of you that are, I'm going to ask you to remember 2 things. There are veterans who have PTSD, and there are dogs who are terrified of fireworks. We can't do anything about city fireworks, but would you please consider watching your own personal fireworks if you're in a state that allows them. If you're in a state that doesn't allow them and you do them anyway, shame on you. But please remember our veterans. Please remember your neighborhood dogs. 4th of July is one of the highest times that dogs run away from home because they're so terrified by the fireworks. And it's a really bad time for veterans. So please keep the veterans and everybody's dogs safe and secure in your mind. And try and keep those fireworks at a minimum. And if you know a veteran that lives near you, try and reach out and give them some support this week because they probably are going to need it. So that's from a daughter of a vet, and both of my husbands are vets. So not that I have 2 husbands at the same time. That came out wrong, didn't it? But my previous husband and my current husband are both vets. So please keep everybody in mind this holiday weekend. Stay safe. And we hope to see you next Monday. All right, guys, Transformation Roundtable's out this week. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Catch you down the road.